Hey YouTube, and welcome into my channel today. For those of you who are new, I am Doc. So I'm going to be the one providing you with 5 awesome tips to becoming a better and more successful Rocket League trader. Before we get into it, I do want to let you know that I stream every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Specifically Friday, I do a playing with viewers. So if you want to play some Rocket League with me, I'd love to do that, and I'd also be able to answer any questions I either didn't address in the video or any questions that you have that piggyback off of the things I do address. So feel free to check out my Twitch page, look at my schedule, it's always updated, and stop in when I'm going live. I also have a Discord page, so if you have any questions that you want to ask me directly through that, I'm more than happy to do so. Just note that it might take me a little bit of time to get back to you. With that being said, let's give you those timestamps. Should be here right about now. And let's go ahead on and get into these 5 awesome tips. So the first tip I want to talk about is honestly the most important one, and that is patience. I don't know why, but so many people who trade in Rocket League have 0 patience. In Rocket League, patience directly correlates to margin. And when I say margin, I mean the margin of your trades. Margin is the difference between the item that you have bought at an original price, in this case, the item that you have invested yourself in, and what you end up selling it for. If you buy a Diestro for 50 credits and then you end up selling it for 120, it's 120 minus the 50 credits you originally bought it for, which is 70, therefore your margin is 70. Now why this is important is because your margins are defined by your patience. If you want to make 70 off of a 50 credit Diestro, you're probably gonna have to wait just a little bit longer than you would if you were going to just try and sell it for 80 or 70 credits. It is much more rewarding and more valuable in terms of your time spent to just wait and post it for the price that you actually want it for. Too many people are buying items that they want to flip, and they try and flip it within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. They don't actually give themselves the time to have their trade viewed by other players. If you want your trade to be seen by the most amount of people, you have to wait. And by doing so, you'll give yourself the most opportunity to have a buyer come and buy the item at the price that you want. You're going to waste your time if you are sitting there trying to day trade in Rocket League. The people who do that do not succeed at this, and the people who do are very slim and have way too much time on their hands. So let the margins run their course with patience, and you will start seeing credits coming in like that. Patience is going to be the thing that allows you to get that Fennec or titanium white mainframe decal. There's gonna be people out there who say, well, I flip this item for this item, or I do this technique all the time. I'm sure they exist, but that's just not how I do things, and I have found that to be not as successful of a route as the way I do things now. That isn't the exception, not the rule. That doesn't always happen. For example, I only trade 3 days out of the season, believe it or not. I buy things for 3 days straight, and then I sell them over the course of 3-4 weeks, and I make anywhere from 5 to 10,000 credits depending on what I've bought and what I've sold and how much time I've invested in doing it. It's really, really easy. You just gotta be willing to be patient. Get used to it, because you're gonna need lots of it. Negotiation. This is something you'll never, ever see any other YouTubers talk about. When I first started trading, they talk about all sorts of things. Some of them talk about the same stuff, some of them talk about different stuff, but the one thing they will never talk about, because it's almost taboo or they don't want to admit that it's a part of trading, is negotiation. The first thing you have to understand about negotiation is that people will always be after a better deal, and they will ask you for it. When you've finalized what your agreed rate is for an item, whether you're buying or selling, people are going to hop into trade with you, and last second, they're always going to ask, can you do 30? Or can you do 40? Or come on, man, you should be giving me 10 more credits. They're always going to do this. When they do this, say no. It's okay to say no. Do not be afraid to tell people no. The reason why you have fear is because you are probably thinking that if you say no, they're going to back out. Newsflash, they spent all this energy and effort to talk with you, to hop into a trade with you. 9 out of 10 times, if you say no, they will still go through with the trade. Don't lose out on those credits just because someone is pushing your buttons to get you to add a little bit more than you already bargained for. If they do bail on you, then they can screw off, because that was not the set price, and that's a really shady way of doing, in my mind, business in this case with someone. Do not be forced into giving up credits or extra items that you did not agree to. An important part of negotiation begins before you even start talking to someone, especially in something like Rocket League Garage, where there's a trade board and you post to people that you don't know and you haven't yet met. You should never, ever, ever let the other individual know what you actually want to buy or sell an item for. If you are selling items, you need to post your items way above market value. And if you are buying items, you need to be posting them way below market value. Now, to give you an idea, I do it around 20% to 25% beneath or above, depending on whether I'm buying or selling. But I think about 25% in both directions is a good, not too insane way to do it. Some people would say, well, that doesn't make any sense because people aren't going to buy an item if it's charged too high, or people aren't going to sell an item to me if my asking price is too low. And that is not true. The reason why you do this is because people are going to look at your post and think, well, I'm not going to buy it for that, or I'm not going to sell it for that, but I'll do it for this number. And they're going to give you a number that is much closer to what you want than if you had given it at market value. They see those numbers and they say, oh, well, he wants market value. I bet I can get another 50 credits out of him, or I can get it another 50 credits off. Don't do that. It's a huge mistake a lot of people make because they're not even understanding that they've entered the negotiation table the second they post a trade on Rocket League Garage. If you post at market value, people are going to always ask for a better rate because that's how people are. People always want the better rate, no matter how good of a deal it is. That's just how it is, and you have to get used to that if you want to become a better trader in Rocket League. And on the occasion, as a nice reward, sometimes people will buy your item at a much higher rate than you expected, and sometimes they'll sell you an item at a lower rate than you expected. It's pretty cool when it happens, but that's not usually the norm. So make sure you set your rates higher, about 25% higher when selling and about 25% lower when buying. This next tip I have for you is a pretty good one. Don't become too reliant on Rocket League Insider. The biggest problem with Rocket League Insider is that it's not as accurate as many of us like to believe. For example, everyone has the Rocket Pass right now, and as far as I'm concerned, Rocket League has as many players as it's ever had, and as a result, more people have the Rocket Pass now than in prior seasons. That means that there are more people with those items. Because there are more people with those items, the value of those items is inherently less, especially right now when everyone has them and it's scattered across the trading economy. While Rocket League Insider will tell you the Rocket Pass items are around 40 to 70 credits a piece, you can easily find them for 10 credits an item if you really want. All you have to do is post that you want to buy a Rocket Pass item for 10 credits, and people will message you like madmen. My point is that Rocket League Insider is really good for older items, and it gives you a nice accurate / approximate estimate to what an item is worth, but it doesn't define exactly what an item is. And that doesn't just go for new items. With older items, you have to really know what the state of the market is for the item you're trying to buy or sell. To do that, you want to make sure that you go into Rocket League Garage and actually look through all the posted trades of the item you are either buying or selling. The general price on Rocket League Insider might not match up with the daily price of that item, and that is really important because that might cost you 50 to 100 credits if you're not properly aligned with everyone else that's selling or buying that item. Please do yourself a favor and make sure that if you are going to buy or sell an item, you go into Rocket League Garage, use the search filter and find the item that you want to buy or sell, and properly and accurately locate the price of that item, because I promise you Rocket League Insider is not always going to be right. With this being said, I think Rocket League Insider is a phenomenal tool, and I think it can be used in a variety of ways to help you succeed. So don't neglect it, but just don't get too reliant on it. A great way you could use it is if you open a random drop and you get an item that you've never even heard of. Just hop onto Rocket League Insider, do a quick check, and then continue about your day. Or for example, maybe you're in a trade with someone and they don't have the credits you want, but they offer you a random item that you've never heard of. You can just hop on over to Rocket League Insider and see, oh, okay, this approximate value is greater than the credits that I'm trying to get. So this actually would be probably my benefit, even if the item is selling at a slightly lower number than Rocket League Insider is suggesting it will. There are many more instances like that where you'll need to use Rocket League Insider for such activities, but using it for every single trade and basing all of your decisions off of it is a horrible idea. So don't do that. It's not going to help you in the long run. Use it as a tool, don't use it as fact. Oh my gosh, this next one. If you're new to trading, you probably haven't even gotten there yet, but Discord, stay the hell away from it. If you're gonna post trades, do them on Rocket League Garage. It is so much better, so much better. If you don't know what Rocket League Garage is, I do have a full video that explains that completely in depth, but man, don't go on Discord. There are a few Discord trading channels. I'm not going to name them, but there are a few of them that are well known, and they also are well known for having a plethora of scammers and hackers. They are not good, and the people on there don't even pay attention to what's going on. It's just a mess, and there's no sorting to it. They try with their individual channels that they've made, and they have their own reporting system, but it is nothing like Rocket League Garage. And for the record, I'm not affiliated with Rocket League Garage. I just think it's so much better, and it actually has visuals tied to everything, and I'm a very visual person. As far as I'm concerned on the Discord channels, if I'm looking past all these scammers, hackers, cheaters, etc., there's no great way to centralize your trades, and there's nothing that really obstructs people from spamming their trade posts nonstop. In Rocket League Garage, you can only bump your trade to the top every 15 minutes, and while some might say that's a disadvantage, the reality is your trade gets to be seen by so many more people, and it's not just getting shoved to the bottom because of some spammers just clicking away and copy and pasting. On top of all of that, it's visual, so you don't have to type anything. All you have to do is search your item, you can select the paint, you can select if it's a set. It's just so much more intuitive, it's easier, it's faster, and it's way safer. Rocket League Garage's account linking feature, which brings all the platforms and all your usernames and links it to your Rocket League Garage account, is by far the most underrated feature on that entire website. I think it was on there before I started trading, so it's something that's been around for a while, but it also prevents scammers and hackers from being relentless with their activities. Discord just runs rampant with scammers and hackers and cheaters and etc. and etc. and etc. And there's just so much noise on Discord. And I know it's great and a lot of people love it. Love Discord specifically for other reasons, but when it comes to trading in Rocket League, it is dog. Tip number 5. start trading for and flipping Rocket Pass items from the current season. Not last season, not the season before, the current season we are in. And this rule will apply no matter what season it is. As a new trader, you don't have a whole lot in your inventory, or you might have accumulated all these items after years of playing and are now just getting into trading. For most, that's not the case. So you don't have much inheritance, as you will, sitting in your inventory. Because you don't have much leverage in your inventory, you need to start by trading with smaller items. The most common thing I hear YouTubers say, which annoys me because it's not fair, is they just say, well, just get enough money to get a black market and flip it. And I don't like that. And here's why I don't like that. Black markets are oversaturated. And oversaturated means everyone is involved in buying and selling with black markets. As a result, it's hard to sell an item and make any money off of it because everyone knows what the price is and where it should be. And it's hard to buy it because no one wants to sell you it for the price that you want it. And so you get this kind of gridlock tension. Black markets just aren't what they used to be. All these YouTubers who sit here and say that they got rich in credits by flipping black market decals, it's like, okay, it's not 2017 anymore. We don't have keys in this game. I personally just don't think black markets are as valuable to trading. I think they're cool, and I think you should strive to get black market decals for your cars, whatever cars you like. I mean, I do, but I don't go around trying to flip them. My recommendation to you is, instead of flipping black markets, buy Rocket League Pass items from this current season. Buy them for cheap because no one is buying, so you'd be the only person buying. Once you get those, complete a set. It might cost you 100, at most 130 credits to complete a set. People love sets. You can save that set until next season and sell it for a little bit higher. You can sell it this season, but you have a set, and sets are valuable. People like to own multiple things. They don't just want one item. They want every color item, and Rocket League Pass sets are cheaper than buying a Grip Stride set, which is going to cost you 3,000 credits. A Rocket League Pass set gives you all the paint variants, and you only have to spend around 300 to 400 credits, so people don't even think twice about buying the Rocket League Pass sets. I personally use a spreadsheet that I mark so that I know which items I have, because it gets a little confusing when you have a bunch of Rocket League Pass items in your inventory. And the second I have all of them, I flip it immediately, and I make anywhere from 200 to 500 credits profit in a margin almost overnight when I decide to do that. I know it sounds weird trying to buy Rocket League Pass items for really cheap, because you're thinking, am I scamming people? No, you are not scamming people. If you would see how many people message you, you realize you might be the one getting scammed. These are people who have and are familiar with the Rocket League trading community. They don't care about these items. You know why? Because there's so many people who have them, they don't want them, and no one's buying them, so they're gonna sell them to you for 10 credits. Believe it or not. So that goes kind of back to the whole Rocket League Insider not being super accurate. Then you ask, well, if no one's buying them, why would anyone buy the sets? Well, it's because sets are just more valuable and people treat them differently. Essentially, what you're gonna do moving forward is ignore the black market decals. They look fancy, but if you're flipping them, it doesn't matter. You're going to post that you want to buy Rocket League items for 10 credits. You're going to wait until you get a full set, and then you're going to flip that set. Be generous with it. I do think you should be generous with it because you are getting these items for cheaper. I go about 65 to 70% of what the full set would really be worth according to RL Insider. It's funny because I told you not to trust them earlier, but in this case, and by the time next season comes around, RL Insider will be pretty accurate with those prices. You will probably get someone to buy within a week if you just give it some patience. You get 500 credits. You know, you don't have to work too hard for it. I bought a Mr. Monsoon for 10 credits each, and I sold it for 700 credits like 3 days later. This tactic works because of supply and demand. No one is buying. You're the only person who'd be buying these items. And then that's the thing, because everyone has these items, no one has full sets. So you buy these items, then all of a sudden you have the full sets. You're on opposite sides of the spectrum almost overnight. And because of that, you get to control prices. So take advantage of this. No one does it. And every time I go on and talk to someone who's selling me an item, like, why do you want this? I'm like, because I'm gonna sell this item in about 10-15 days when the new season comes out. Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, it is a good idea. No one's doing it. By you watching this video, you will learn to do this moving forward. And with that final tip, I have nothing more for you, at least for today. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to hop into my Discord channel and shoot me a question directly, or you can hop onto my stream while I'm live playing with viewers every Friday, and we can talk a little bit more about some of these things. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I always save to say that till after you've watched the video, because I get annoyed myself when people are begging for that stuff at the beginning of their videos. It's not my cup of tea. And I'll be catching you on the flip side. Peace out, everyone.